Tax time is so important when you're self-employed. It's your once a year chance to go on the record with the financial story of your business. In this video, I'm going to tap into decades of helping thousands of self-employed folks just like you navigate the home buying process and share 6 tax time tips. These tips are a great starting point, but of course, your goals and your business are unique, so you can always reach out if you have questions. And a couple of important things to know as we get rolling. For lending purposes, you're self-employed if you own 25% of a business, even if you pay yourself a wage, even if you issue yourself a W-2. If you own 24.99% of a business, you're an employee, 25.00% or more, and you're self-employed. The information in this video is for traditionally documented income, but there are, just so you know, other options. If your tax returns don't tick all the right boxes, we may be able to document your income other ways, using bank statements or a profit and loss statement or by other non-traditional means. It's really great to have some of these non-traditional options in our back pocket, but the goal should always be to start with your income tax returns and try to traditionally document your income. That's how you'll get the best interest rate. And then finally, if you find any value in this video, please like and subscribe. It'll kind of nudge the YouTube algorithm to put this information in front of others who I hope will benefit from it, and it makes me smile. I've been doing lending for a really long time and I love what I do, and I'm enjoying sharing information in what I hope is a useful way. So let's get on with the tips. Tip number 1, know your deductions. Lenders look at your bottom line, the net income after all of your write-offs. If you and your CPA work really hard to lower your tax bill and write off everything possible, like I know you probably will, all of those write-offs are making it tougher to qualify for a loan. But there is a silver lining here. I have some good news. There are a few freebies, stuff you can write off to lower your tax bill without hurting your chances of qualifying for a loan. These items fall into 2 categories, things lenders view as non-cash deductions and things lenders view as one-time write-offs. So what are these? One is your home office. If you use part of your home for your business and you claim a deduction, this can normally be added back to your loan qualifying income. And the logic here, which does make sense, is that you're living in your home anyway, no matter what. So the fact that you just used part of your home for a business and the IRS let you write some of that off, that's kind of incidental and not truly an extra expense. So we lenders will usually add that back. We'll disregard it. Another freebie is depreciation. And this could be a big one if your business requires a lot of equipment or maybe you just invested in an expansion. Depreciation is the write-off the IRS allows for an asset that you put to work for your business. That could be something as small as buying a laptop or something really big like outfitting a new office or buying a chipper for your landscaping business, or it could be something huge like building a manufacturing facility. Whatever the case, these types of expenses are different from more consumable expenses, like the rent that you pay for your office every month, or paying for an advertisement, or filling the tank and driving across town to have lunch with a client. Those sort of consumable things are one and done and gone. Assets that you put into business use can be used over and over again, probably usually for a period of years, but the IRS will let you write off a portion of those assets. And because it is kind of an asset in business use and not an expense, lenders don't view it as a cash flow expense, will generally add it back to your income when qualifying for a loan. Also, casualty and theft losses are another add back. If, let's say, a tree falls and crushes that chipper you bought, or maybe the chipper gets ripped off, the IRS will let you write off those losses, but lenders will add the loss back. We hope, kind of like you hope, that those types of events are a one-time thing. They're not likely to recur, and therefore they shouldn't be considered an ongoing part of your business cash flow. So take advantage of these rules. Maximize all of these, kind of have your cake and eat it to expenses. They are ways you can lower your tax bill that don't take away from your loan qualifying income. Tip number 2 is distribute your profits. If you operate your business as a corporation but keep some profit in the business, you might be surprised and annoyed and dismayed to learn that a lender may not be willing to include retained earnings as part of the income when qualifying you for a loan. It is really annoying. You earned it. Your business paid taxes on it, or you did, so it really should be income, right? But the issue is that the retained earnings, or at least from a lending perspective, the issue is that the retained earnings may not be accessible to you. Maybe you need the retained earnings as operating capital. Maybe you have business partners with a say about whether you can take money out of the business or not. So if we want to count profits that you didn't actually distribute to yourself as income, you'll have to address questions like this for an underwriter. In best case, it's just going to be a situation where your lender is pestering you for some extra paperwork. But worst case, your lender maybe decides the retained profits aren't actually part of your qualifying income, which would reduce the amount that you could qualify to borrow. So distributing profits from your business to yourself is a good best practice that will assure that they'll be part of your qualifying income without these questions. And as an added bonus, when you get money out of your business account and into your personal account, it makes documenting your down payment a little bit easier as well. Tip number 3, trends matter. We lenders would love nothing more than to have a crystal ball to look into the future to see how your business is going to perform so that we know your ability to pay the mortgage. But without that crystal ball, the next best thing we have, really our only option, is to look backwards and to use a history of your income to try and predict the future. So plan on providing your most recent 2 years of filed tax returns, both for you and for your business. Your lender is going to review tax returns, and we're going to look for trends. We love to see stable or increasing revenue and profits, but every business is going to be different. And as we all now know all too well, some years are just weird. So if your business doesn't show that desired upward trend or stability, your loan officer should start asking a lot of questions, trying to learn the story of your business. When it comes to this, I really think of myself as my client's advocate in this part of the process. I'm almost like a lawyer would be in court. Once I understand your business, I can help you help the underwriter understand it. And some businesses are just going to be variable from year to year. I have speaking of lawyers, a lawyer client I helped who specializes in large class action lawsuits finance their home. It is totally normal for their business to show significant losses for quite a few years before they get a very large settlement. The same goes for some of my clients who are musicians. Writing and recording an album takes time and is expensive, but then it pays off when they tour. So your business has its own story too, and your loan officer can and should help you tell it in a way that will get your loan approved. Tip number 4, leverage your longevity. Longevity in business, showing you've got time in business, has perks. Sometimes we only need 1 year of income tax returns, and this is often the case if you've been in business for at least 5 years. And of course, it's nice to have less paperwork, but more importantly, we aren't going to have to answer questions about income trends from 1 year to another year if we're only looking at 1 year of tax returns, right? Tip number 5. Don't commingle debts. Whenever possible, keep your business debts in the name of your business. Business debts that show up on your personal credit report will count in your debt to income ratio, and that can significantly reduce the amount you can qualify to borrow. Removing a business debt from your debt to income ratio may be possible, but only if you can show that it was part of the expenses you wrote off on your prior year tax return, and you can show that your business directly paid the last 12 payments. And this may just wind up being some extra paperwork, which is a minor inconvenience, but it's a bigger deal if, let's say, your business was growing rapidly and you just leased a new van this year. It's not going to show up as an expense for last year's taxes, right? Or what if you paid a payment or two from your personal bank account over the course of the last year? Now you can't show the business has directly paid that last 12 months of payments. If that type of paperwork isn't available, and we have to count that payment in your personal debt to income ratio, that can significantly reduce the amount of loan that your qualified to borrow, and I have even had clients where it has just forced them to delay their home purchase. And finally, tip number 6, season your side hustle. If you started a business as a supplement to a main job, we may be able to count it as additional income when we go to qualify you for a mortgage, but there are always buts. Lenders like to see you've had both your main job and your side hustle for at least a year, ideally 2. And we need to be able to see the income on your tax return. So if you started a side gig late last year, your tax return may not show much action. It may take another year before all of that extra income is really going to show up on a tax return and kick in to give your home purchase a boost. And of course, all of the other tips I talk about are also applicable to a side job. Use the link below to schedule a call. I would love to hear about you and your business and your home ownership goals and help make them happen.